Introduction. In the timeless classic, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill unlocks the secrets to success by distilling the lessons he learned from over 500 of the most influential individuals of his time. Hill spent 25 years researching and interviewing some of history's greatest minds, including business magnates like Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, and Henry Ford. These individuals weren't just wealthy, they were innovators, leaders, and visionaries who shaped industries and changed the course of history. In this video, we will dive into each of Hill's 13 principles of success, explaining how they can help you transform your dreams into reality. Each principle is brought to life through real-world examples of these remarkable figures. From Carnegie's monumental rise in the steel industry to Edison's relentless pursuit of invention, we'll see how they applied these principles to achieve extraordinary success. The first principle of success is desire. Everyone wants success, but very few know where it truly begins. According to Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, the very first principle of success isn't talent, luck, or money, it's desire. Not just any desire, but a burning, all-consuming obsession to achieve a specific goal. Let me tell you the powerful story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who had absolutely nothing, no money, no connections, no fancy education, but he had one clear desire: to go into business with the great inventor Thomas Edison. Not work for him, but with him. Crazy, right? Still, Barnes believed in this dream so deeply that he jumped on a freight train, yes, a dirty, unpaid ride, just to get to Edison's office. He walked in, told Edison he was there to be his partner, and although he didn't get that partnership then and there, Edison saw something powerful in his eyes' determination. So Barnes was given a small, insignificant job, but he didn't care. In his mind, he was already Edison's partner. He worked faithfully for years with no signs of progress. Most people would have given up. But Barnes kept his desire alive until one day, Edison invented a new machine, something no one believed in, the Edison dictating machine. Barnes saw his moment. He believed in the machine when no one else did, offered to sell it, and did so with such success that Edison gave him the national rights to market it. From that, the slogan was born, made by Edison and installed by Barnes. He didn't just earn money, he proved that a clear, definite desire, backed with persistence, can move mountains. Hill reminds us that most people just wish for success, but wishes are weak. Desire is different. Desire means burning all bridges behind you, no plan B. Just a clear decision: I will get what I want, or I will die trying. That's what Barnes did. That's what every successful person in history has done, from Edison to Ford, the Wright brothers to Helen Keller. Hill even outlines 6 steps to transform desire into reality, like fixing the exact amount of what you want, deciding what you'll give in return, setting a date, writing it down, reading it daily, and seeing yourself already in possession of your dream. Simple? Yes. Easy? Number? But powerful? Absolutely. So here's the real question. What do you desire so deeply that you're willing to ride a freight train for it, work for it without reward, and stay committed for years until the moment finally arrives? Because that's the real beginning of success. Not when people believe in you, but when you believe in yourself so deeply that nothing else matters. That's the first principle of success. That's how you think and grow rich. The second principle is faith. Faith is not just something you pray with, it's the invisible power that turns thoughts into reality. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill calls faith the eternal elixir that gives life and power to our desires. He says that when faith blends with your thoughts, it reaches the subconscious mind and connects with infinite intelligence, a universal force that shapes the world around us. But here's the secret. Faith doesn't just show up. You can build it through repetition and self-suggestion, repeating your desires with conviction until your subconscious mind believes it and starts to act on it. The book gives a powerful example of how faith works, not with money, but with influence, and that's the story of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi had no army, no money, no political title. He didn't even own a suit, but he had something far greater, faith, and with it, he moved over 200 million people to act as one without firing a single bullet. Through sheer belief, he influenced minds, unified a nation, and challenged the mightiest empire of the time. That is the power of faith. Hill explains that you can channel this same force into your goals by feeding your mind with strong, emotional thoughts of success every day until your mind accepts them as truth. When that happens, your actions align, plans appear, and things start to happen. But faith is a two-edged sword. If you fill your mind with fear and doubt, your subconscious will bring those into reality too. That's why Hill says, mix your desires with belief and repeat them aloud until they become part of you. Visualize success. Feel it. Believe in it as if it's already yours, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. The world's greatest leaders, inventors, and achievers, from Edison to Lincoln, Ford to Gandhi, they all mastered this invisible force. So the question is, what are you planting in your subconscious? Doubt or belief? Fear or faith? Because whatever you feed it, it will grow. And as Hill reminds us, both poverty and riches are the offspring of thought. Choose wisely. The third principle is autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the bridge between your conscious desires and your subconscious reality, and it's one of the most powerful tools you possess, whether you know it or not. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill describes autosuggestion as a form of self-talk, a way to feed your subconscious mind the exact thoughts you want it to believe and act upon. It's how you instruct your inner world to shape your outer world. The idea is simple. What you think, especially what you think repeatedly and with emotion, eventually becomes your reality. Think of your subconscious mind as a fertile garden. Autosuggestion is how you plant seeds. You can plant flowers of prosperity or weeds of fear. The choice is yours. Hill gives the example of a man named Joseph Grant, a bank official who lost money through gambling and feared the consequences so deeply that he kept repeating, "My God, this will kill me. I cannot stand the disgrace." He died days later, not from injury or illness, but purely from his thoughts. That's how real autosuggestion is. But the same principle can also bring incredible success. If you read your goals aloud every day, mix them with feeling, and picture them vividly in your mind, your subconscious mind begins to accept them as real, and it starts working to make them so. Hill emphasizes that emotion is the key ingredient. Without it, repetition is just noise. You have to feel it. You have to believe it. In fact, he suggests writing out your definite purpose, reading it twice daily, and imagining yourself already in possession of the thing you desire. That's not just repetition, that's autosuggestion in action. Your subconscious doesn't judge. It doesn't care if your thoughts are true or false, good or bad. It simply acts on whatever is fed to it, with emotion and belief. That's why people can accidentally program themselves for failure by constantly saying things like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it." So what if you flipped the script? What if you used autosuggestion to tell yourself every day that you are successful, capable, and unstoppable? Hill reminds us that just like electricity can cook your food or burn your house down, autosuggestion can build your life or destroy it depending on how you use it. So the big question is, what kind of thoughts are you planting in your subconscious every day? Because your mind is always listening, and it's ready to create whatever you believe. The fourth principle is specialized knowledge. Specialized knowledge is one of the most misunderstood ingredients of success. Most people believe that knowledge itself is power, but in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill flips this idea on its head and says, knowledge is only potential power. It only becomes real power when it is organized and applied toward a definite purpose. That's where specialized knowledge comes in. Unlike general knowledge, which is scattered and often useless on its own, specialized knowledge is targeted, practical, and can be turned into wealth. A brilliant example from the book is the story of Henry Ford, who had very little formal education and was once ridiculed in court as being ignorant. When pressed with trivia questions during a trial, Ford calmly said, "Why should I clutter my mind with facts when I have a row of push buttons on my desk that I can press to summon men who can answer any question I need to know?" That statement floored the courtroom. Ford wasn't a walking encyclopedia, he was a master of organizing people who had the right specialized knowledge. That was his genius, and it made him one of the richest men in history. Another inspiring story is about a grocery store clerk during the Great Depression who lost his job. Instead of giving up, he used his limited bookkeeping experience, took a course in accounting, and started his own business helping small shops manage their accounts. He began with just one client, the store where he used to work, and eventually signed up over 100 businesses. His idea worked so well that he created a mobile office in a truck with modern accounting tools, hired a team, and built a thriving business. What changed his life wasn't a college degree, it was applying specialized knowledge to meet a real need. Hill emphasizes that you don't need to know everything yourself, you just need to know what knowledge is needed, where to find it, and how to use it. You can even tap into others' expertise by forming a mastermind group. So if you feel underqualified or uneducated, take heart. It's not about how much you know, but how you apply what you know. Whether it's bookkeeping, law, mechanics, or marketing, specialized knowledge, combined with purpose and action, is the fuel that drives wealth. The world doesn't reward people for knowing everything. It rewards those who solve problems using the right knowledge at the right time. So ask yourself, what specialized skill or knowledge can you start building today? Because that's where success truly begins. The fifth principle is imagination. Imagination is the workshop of the mind, the place where all plans are born before they become reality. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill teaches that success starts not with hard work, but with an idea, and that idea takes shape through imagination. Hill explains that there are two kinds of imagination: synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination rearranges existing ideas, like how most inventions come from combining things we already know. Creative imagination, on the other hand, connects us with infinite intelligence. It's how the greatest breakthroughs and hunches are born. Hill gives the fascinating example of Guglielmo Marconi, who dreamed of sending messages through the air without wires. When he first shared his idea, people thought he was insane. In fact, he was briefly taken to a psychiatric hospital. But his crazy idea became radio, and today, wireless communication connects the entire world, all from one man's imagination. That's the power of believing in your dream. Another amazing story in this chapter is about a woman who used her imagination to help people present their skills better. She created personalized service plans for job seekers, showing them how to market themselves creatively. Her business grew so much that she had to hire typists, writers, and artists to keep up. She didn't invent a product or discover a new science, she just had a powerful idea and used imagination to turn it into a profitable business. Hill emphasizes that ideas are the starting point of all fortunes. If you can train your mind to think creatively, you open doors to opportunity. And the good news? Imagination is like a muscle, it grows with use. You don't have to be born a genius. You just need to practice thinking differently, asking "what if?" and looking at problems as puzzles to solve. Hill even says that most people fail not because they lack education, but because they lack imagination. So if you've ever had a wild idea or a dream, others called unrealistic, you might be onto something. Whether it's writing a book, launching a business, or inventing something new, imagination is your first and most powerful tool. So here's the big question. What idea is sitting in your mind right now, waiting to come to life? Don't ignore it. Nurture it. Because with imagination, even the wildest dream can become the next great success story. The sixth principle of success is organized planning. Success doesn't happen by chance, it happens by plan. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill teaches that organized planning is the sixth principle of success, and it's the stage where dreams start becoming reality. It's not enough to have desire, faith, or imagination at some point. You need a concrete plan. Hill says that most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they never take time to create a definite plan, or they quit when their first plan fails. Every success story, he says, starts with a clear idea and a well-organized plan to bring it to life. One of the best examples comes from Hill's own life. He tells us how a single meeting with steel magnate Andrew Carnegie changed everything. Carnegie gave Hill a simple but life-altering idea to spend 20 years studying and organizing the principles of success into a single philosophy. Hill didn't just take the idea and hope for the best. He made a plan, worked on it for decades, and interviewed over 500 of the most successful people in America. The result? The very book we're talking about, Think and Grow Rich, a living testimony to the power of organized planning. Hill explains that successful planning often involves what he calls a mastermind group, a team of people working in perfect harmony toward a shared goal. He insists that no one achieves great success alone. Even Carnegie, who was considered one of the richest men in the world, admitted that he knew little about the technical side of the steel business instead. He surrounded himself with experts who filled in the gaps and helped carry out the vision. That's the power of organized planning. It multiplies your efforts and speeds up results. But Hill warns us, don't get stuck in perfection. A weak plan executed with persistence is better than a perfect plan that never gets acted on. If one plan fails, replace it with another. Keep refining and keep moving. Many fortunes have been built by those who were persistent enough to keep trying until the right plan clicked. Hill even says that every setback carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit, but only if you stay the course and keep planning. So, if you're chasing success, stop waiting for luck. Get clear on what you want, build a team if you can, and start organizing your steps. Your dreams are waiting to be crystallized into action, but action begins with a plan. The seventh principle is decision. Decision is the master key that unlocks success, and in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill identifies indecision as one of the top causes of failure. He discovered that successful people make decisions quickly and firmly, and change them slowly if ever. Meanwhile, those who struggle to succeed are often slow to decide and quick to change their minds. The book highlights an incredible example: Henry Ford, one of the world's most iconic industrialists. Ford was known for making firm decisions even when others doubted him. When he decided to continue manufacturing the Model T, despite his advisors and even customers pushing for a new design, people called him stubborn. But his decision brought him millions before the change finally became necessary. His most famous moment of decision, though, came when he instructed his engineers to design an 8-cylinder engine block cast in one piece, something everyone said was impossible. Ford's response? Produce it anyway. Months passed, engineers failed, but Ford held firm. Go ahead, I want it, and I'll have it. That's the power of unwavering decision. Eventually, the breakthrough came, and history was made. Hill calls procrastination the silent killer of success, and urges us to build the habit of making quick, firm decisions, especially in pursuit of our definite purpose. The world doesn't wait for the hesitant. Every great achievement starts with a clear decision to act, followed by persistence. Hill even reveals that over 25,000 failures studied had procrastination in common, while every one of the hundreds of millionaires he interviewed shared this one trait: decisiveness. So, if you've been sitting on an idea, waiting for a sign, this is it. Make a decision, commit to it, and move. Even a wrong decision is better than no decision at all, because action builds clarity, and clarity builds momentum. Remember, success favors the bold. What decision have you been avoiding? Because that one choice could be the beginning of your breakthrough. The eighth principle of success is persistence. Have you ever wondered what truly separates those who only dream from those who actually achieve? The answer is persistence, the quiet but unstoppable force that pushes you forward when everything around you says, give up. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill calls persistence the eighth principle of success, and it might just be the most important one. Success doesn't usually come with fireworks and easy wins. It often comes wrapped in defeat, in rejection, in long periods where nothing seems to happen. But those who persist, who keep moving no matter how slow the progress feels, are the ones who eventually win. A powerful example from Hill's book is the story of Fannie Hurst. In 1915, she arrived in New York City full of dreams, determined to become a successful writer. But reality was harsh. She was rejected not once, not twice, but over 36 times by the very same publisher, the Saturday Evening Post. Still, she refused to quit. Fannie spent 4 long years pounding the pavements of Broadway, working during the day and writing at night. Every time the world told her no, she dug her heels in deeper. Finally, her persistence paid off. Fannie Hurst became one of the most celebrated authors of her time. Her story is proof that temporary defeat is never a reason to give up, it's just a signal to push harder. Remember, Every no brings you one step closer to your yes if you persist. Success may take longer than you expect, and it will almost always test your spirit. But if you keep showing up, keep believing, and keep working toward your goal, persistence will eventually open the door. Stay strong, keep going, because persistence always wins. The 9th principle is power of the mastermind. Have you ever felt stuck trying to achieve a big goal all by yourself? Napoleon Hill, in Think and Grow Rich, reveals a secret weapon used by the world's most successful people: the power of the mastermind. Hill explains that when 2 or more people come together in a spirit of harmony to work toward a definite goal, they create a third mind, a mastermind, a powerful force greater than the individuals themselves. It's like combining different sparks to create a blazing fire. Alone, your knowledge and energy are limited, but together with others, your ideas, experiences, and enthusiasm multiply. A brilliant example Hill shares is Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history. Carnegie openly said he owed his vast fortune to his mastermind group, a team of about 50 carefully selected men. These men weren't just employees, they were trusted advisors, each bringing different talents, knowledge, and energy to the table. Carnegie knew he didn't have to know everything, he just needed to align himself with others who had the skills he lacked. Another amazing example is Mahatma Gandhi. Without an army, without wealth, Gandhi led over 200 million people toward freedom. How? Through the power of a unified mastermind alliance built on shared belief and trust. His influence was not physical force, but organized mental power. The lesson is clear: you don't have to do it alone. Build your own mastermind group. Find people who support your dreams, who challenge you to grow, who share your vision. Together, you will create a force of success that is unstoppable. Remember, no great achievement has ever been done alone. Success is a team effort, and the mastermind is your greatest secret weapon. The 10th principle is the mystery of sex transmutation. Have you ever wondered why some people suddenly unlock extraordinary creativity and power later in life? Napoleon Hill reveals one of the greatest secrets in Think and Grow Rich: the mystery of sex transmutation. Simply put, transmutation means changing one form of energy into another. Hill explains that the emotion of sex is one of the most powerful human desires. It drives imagination, courage, willpower, and persistence. Most people channel this energy purely into physical expression, but the real magic happens when you redirect it into creative and productive efforts. It's like taking the most explosive fuel and using it to launch your dreams instead of burning it wastefully. Hill shares that history's greatest achievers, from leaders like Napoleon and Lincoln to artists like Shakespeare and Caruso, all had highly developed sex natures. But crucially, they learned to transmute this powerful force into their work. An amazing example is the life of Enrico Caruso, one of the greatest opera singers in history. His unmatched passion and emotion weren't random, they were the result of harnessing his inner energy and expressing it through his voice, creating performances that moved millions. Hill also points out that many men do not hit their true peak of achievement until after the age of 40, when they naturally begin to redirect their powerful emotional energy toward creation, rather than mere physical expression. The lesson? The energy you often take for granted can be your greatest tool if you choose to channel it wisely. Mastery over this force can lift you from mediocrity to genius. So, don't suppress your emotions, transform them. Use that intense drive to write, build, innovate, and succeed. The mystery is not about denial, it's about direction. The 11th principle is the subconscious mind. Have you ever felt like something deep inside you controls your success or failure? In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill reveals that this hidden force is the subconscious mind. It's like a silent partner, working 24/7, storing every thought, every emotion, every belief. Whether you realize it or not, your subconscious mind is always active, shaping your reality based on the thoughts you feed it. Hill explains that you can voluntarily plant any desire, plan, or purpose into your subconscious mind, and if it's mixed with strong emotion and faith, it will eventually transform into reality. One powerful example is the story of Napoleon Hill's own son, Blair. Born without ears, doctors said he would never hear or speak. But Hill, refusing to accept this fate, repeatedly fed Blair's subconscious mind with the belief that he could hear. Years later, Blair did learn to hear, and even went on to help others with hearing impairments. It wasn't a miracle, it was the subconscious mind in action. Hill teaches that the subconscious mind connects you to infinite intelligence. It's how prayers are answered and dreams are realized. But here's the warning: the subconscious doesn't judge. If you feed it fear, doubt, and failure, it will manifest those too. That's why persistence and positive emotional repetition are crucial. Every thought you mix with emotion and belief is like planting a seed, and your subconscious mind turns that seed into fruit, whether sweet or bitter. So, if you want success, feed your subconscious mind daily with clear, emotionalized desires. Train it to believe in abundance, faith, and achievement. Your greatest dreams are already within reach. They're waiting for the silent magic of your subconscious mind to bring them to life. The 12th principle is the brain. Have you ever thought of your brain as a powerful broadcasting and receiving station for ideas? In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill explains that the brain is much more than an organ. It's an incredible tool that connects us to the world around us. Hill discovered, working alongside great minds like Alexander Graham Bell, that the human brain emits and receives thought vibrations just like a radio station. When your mind is charged with strong emotions like faith, desire, or love, it steps up the vibrations of your thoughts, making them stronger and more easily transmitted to others. Similarly, your brain can pick up thoughts and ideas floating through the ether from other people. One amazing example is Dr. Elmer Gates, a scientist who Hill mentions. Gates would sit quietly in a dark room, stimulating his brain through intense concentration, and literally receive ideas from the surrounding ether, ideas that led to over 200 patents. Hill also points out that powerful emotions, especially the emotion of sex, dramatically increase the brain's vibrational rate, making it even more receptive to creative ideas. Your brain is constantly communicating, sending out your thoughts, and receiving the thoughts of others even when you don't realize it. The lesson here is simple. If you fill your mind with strong, positive, and focused thoughts, you not only strengthen your own creative power, but you also tune into the creative forces around you. Your brain is your personal connection to infinite intelligence, so guard your thoughts, charge them with emotion, believe in your ideas. And remember, your brain has the power to not just dream, but to broadcast those dreams into reality. The 13th principle is the sixth sense. Have you ever had a gut feeling that turned out to be right? In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill describes this invisible guide as the sixth sense, the final, and perhaps the most mysterious, principle of success. The sixth sense acts as a bridge between your conscious mind and infinite intelligence. It's where sudden hunches, flashes of inspiration, and warnings come from, often without any logical explanation. Hill says you can't fully master the sixth sense until you have understood and applied the first 12 principles. But once developed, it becomes your personal guardian angel, warning you of dangers and alerting you to golden opportunities. Hill shares an amazing example from his own life. Through years of intense study and practice, he created what he called his invisible counselors, an imaginary board of advisors that included great minds like Lincoln, Edison, and Napoleon. Each night, Hill would imagine meeting with them, asking for guidance. Over time, he began receiving incredible ideas, solutions, and even warnings, many of which shaped his greatest achievements. It wasn't magic, it was the sixth sense at work, stimulated through imagination and deep belief. Great leaders like Edison, Ford, and Lincoln understood this principle too, tapping into unseen forces to make decisions that changed history. The key to activating your sixth sense is trust, trusting your own instincts and feeding your mind daily with positive, clear, and focused thoughts. With practice, flashes of insight will guide you in ways no textbook ever could. The sixth sense won't shout, it will whisper. But if you listen carefully, it can lead you to places beyond even your boldest dreams. Final thoughts. Success leaves clues, and through Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill has mapped a path that still inspires millions. As we journey through the lives of history's greatest achievers, remember the power to transform your future lies in your hands. If you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe to AI Tools channel, your trusted companion for world-renowned books on professional and personal development, smart investment strategies, and the latest AI tools to boost your productivity. Join us and stay ahead with powerful insights and cutting-edge technology. Your journey to greatness starts here. Don't miss out.